Well, hello, my name is Jim Royal. I am a huge Beatles and Elvis Presley fan and basically classic rock in general. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. At the end of the video, if you could do a thumbs up, that's always most appreciated. And feel free to leave comments. I always enjoy reading them and want to thank you in advance for watching the video. And check out my other videos. I'm a big Beatle fan. I like to review albums and just keep up with Beatle news. Today I'm going to be reviewing a classic solo Beatle album. This one comes from George Harrison. It is his 10th studio album. It's called Gone Troppo, and it was originally released on November 5th, 1982. It was recorded between May 5th and August 27th of 1982 at his home studio. It clocks in a little over 39 minutes. It was produced by George Harrison, Ray Cooper, and then former Balance Beatle engineer Phil McDonald. This album failed to make the charts in the UK, and it only got as high as 108 on the US Billboard 200. In fact, with this album, this was pretty much his only studio album that failed to make the top 20 in the US. At the time, this was his last record with the deal with Warner Brothers, though it was released on the Dark Horse label. The very little promotion was brought into this, unfortunately, and George was very upset with Warner Brothers, though at the same time, George promoted it very little. In fact, he refused to do music videos, which were very popular at the time and seen on MTV. The title Gone Troppo is Australian slang expression meaning gone mad or crazy due to tropical heat or just gone mad. Let me show you the artwork here. The artwork was done by Legs Larry Smith, formerly of the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. So this is the cover. And what I like about it is it's very inventive. You know, the more I look at it, the more I like it. There you go. So you have like a sign here. It says "Gone to Lunch," and it's the two lunches scribbled out, and then you can see the artwork here, Troppo, and then you got a picture of George from circa 1974. It looks to me. And then the back side, you've got a picture of George with his sunglasses. And looks like some members of the production that help with the record. And then this right here is cement. There's actually instructions in the liner notes of how to make the cement. And I'm going to show you the vinyl here, the label. This is on his Dark Horse. I like that. Okay. And then here's that side. Okay. And then you've got what I've always liked, lyrics, liner notes and stuff, the inner sleeve. Okay, so let's talk about the reviews of the album. As a whole, the reviews were not good at the time. I will say, though, I did find one from People magazine that basically admired the song Wake Up My Love and Dream Away, describing Gone Troppo as an album as a vinyl postcard offering flashes of brilliance. Though there were critical ones, like I said, Steve Pond of Rolling Stone said that George made a much better movie financier than a musician. He found this album so offhand and breezy as to be utterly insubstantial, with Wake Up My Love really as the only song to note. And that's too bad, because this album is much better than that. I know when this album came out, for many, including myself, it was under the radar. You know, there was very little promotion for it. Critics blasted it as a whole. There were no hit singles on it, and I think due to that and very little promotion from George himself, that the record suffered. I think the record is much better. I didn't get into it. I bought this album. This is the one that I bought probably about 2.5 years afterwards. And you can see the little cutout here. This was a record that basically says it was in the budget bin. It didn't sell well. So I got a very good price for it. I was interested in it because there is a unreleased Beatles song that George wrote while he was in India with the Beatles back in 1968. So I was really kind of keen to find out how that was. Though this also here could also mean a promo if you happen to have copies, but this one I know was definitely in the budget bin because I bought it. So let's talk about this album as a whole. What I think is interesting about this album is I believe that this album has a distinct style, probably unlike his other albums. This album is heavy with keyboards and synthesizers, which sometimes are heavily pronounced on the songs. Though I think as a whole, I think are done very well and are nice and in the mix. There's backing vocals from people. There's female vocals on some of these songs, you know, that normally are not typical on a George Harrison album. And that kind of took some getting used to, but it was fine. But it has as a whole, it has a very carefree, it has a very warm, welcoming appeal, this album. I like all the songs on the album. There are 10 on there. And while it has a certain style to it, you also get, you know, classic George Harrison throughout it and stuff that I know that you would be happy with. So let's talk about these songs. The first song is called Wake Up My Love. This was the first single off the album. The B-side to the single was Grease, and it got up to number 53 on the US charts, and it failed to chart in the UK. Wake Up My Love is heavy, heavy in the synthesizer. You hear it way up there. In fact, George Harrison plays bass on here too, which I thought was pretty interesting. But he's got a style. It does this. It starts out da na na na, da 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 na na na, da da, like that, and to me it sounds very much in the style of Gloria, a song that was big at the time by Laura Branigan. Very poppy, and it's a love song, and what it's saying, the lyrics are describing a man who is outside, you know, his lady's house. He's knocking on the door, he's trying to shout to her from outside, he's ringing the doorbell, and, you know, she's just not letting him in, and he's saying, wake up my love. And I think it's symbolic, basically saying that, hey, I'm in your life, let me in your life, and let's share a life together. This is a nice song, and like I said, this is the first song you hear, you listen to it, and it's very welcoming, it's very warm, and like I said, very surprisingly different for George. This was not what I expected, and I know some people have blasted him for having the keyboards, you know, very pronounced and this type of a song on there and maybe selling out or trying to sound like the time. Well, you know, he was trying to be commercial at the same time, but I think he did a good job of you know, sticking to his normal style and being true to himself at the same time. But I like this song a lot. The next song is called That's the Way It Goes. This is my absolute favorite song on the album. Okay, if you love George Harrison like I do, and you like his signature slide guitar, this is some of his best work. This is the craftsman at his very best. Let me read some lyrics that are interesting on here, because the lyrics are very good too on this album. There's a man talking on the radio. What he's saying, I don't really know. Seems he's lost some stocks and shares, stops and stares. He's afraid, I know, that's the way it goes. And then here's another one on the same song. There's a fire that burns away the lies, manifesting in the spiritual eye. Though you won't understand the way I feel, you conceal all there is to know, that's the way it goes. So, you know, here he is, nice lyrics. This is basically just saying, oh well, you win some, you lose some. You know, here's a guy, he, you know, lost money at the stock market. Oh well, you know, life goes on, that kind of thing. That's the way it goes. Ups and downs in life. Really like this song. This is my absolute favorite on the album, and it's just really nice. The other song, the next song, the second single is a song called I Really Love You. This failed to chart. This was released February of '83, and the B-side to this was Circles. Uh, this is a very interesting song because there is no guitar on it, which is unusual for George Harrison, right? You have a glockenspiel on here. And this is when you're starting to get some different backing vocals of people, females, and just different than George. George is there, but you're hearing other people too. So that's kind of the distinct feel for this album, in my opinion. But this song, I Really Love You, is a cover tune of a song from a group called The Stereos, which recorded this back in 1961, and it got up to number 29 on the charts at the time. It's a nice tune. It's very catchy. I think George makes it his own. And while I say there might not be guitar on it, there is heavy a cappella. There's heavy voices on here, voice effects and stuff. And I think it does a good job. I wouldn't necessarily say, I would pick it for a single, but I think it's an outstanding album track. And it's a fun song too. All right, the next song is called Grease. It's an instrumental, and this again is George showcasing his guitar skills and his slide. It's a nice song. I think it fits beautifully right here on the album. There is incidental George vocals, I believe kind of what would be the chorus. But as a whole, it's a feel-good song, which I think really what helps this album all the way through with the songs and the vibe that he has. George isn't preaching on this album really. It's just very carefree, very relaxing, and this is definitely an example of that. The next song is called Gone Troppo, the title cut, and what I think is interesting about this is this sounds like a very, it's a pickup party type song. You've got like a Caribbean feel. You have steel drums on here, very much sounding like this could be a Jimmy Buffett song. It's that kind of in that way, and it's very unusual for George. Again, George is venturing out of the box. I really like it a lot. It's just a feel-good song. It's good. You got Joe and Vicki Brown on backing vocals. So again, like you said, you got these different voices of other people too. These female voices and other people on the album throughout. All right, well that's the first side. The next song is called Mystical One. Mystical One is just a really nice song. There's the demo on here too if you pick up the CD. In I think 2014 remaster, there's a demo for it, and it's really kind of cool because you hear George on the demo. It's almost like they're at their summer place, and maybe they haven't been there for a while, or maybe they're, I don't know, they're vacationing somewhere, and he's asking, Olivia, hey, can you grab me a pencil? And they're just exchanging very, very sweet, kind, considerate, very gentle to each other, and you can see that with their relationship. So he just starts playing this beautiful acoustic number, and it's so relaxing. I mean, you got to check this out. You got to find it. Mystical One, the demo. On this album though, the studio version is really good too. It's just very good, very relaxing, laid back. In fact, let me read this to you. The lyric is, "They say I'm not what I used to be, all the same I'm happier than a willow tree. Shine or rain, sitting here by a stream, there's nothing I'd rather feel in this world. You and your sweet serenity rocking me, melting my heart away." I mean, really nice lyrics there. Unknown Delight is the next song. Again, you've got some beautiful slide guitar from George. It's a nice love song, very, very good. Again, a nice laid-back, comfortable feel, like this album to me conveys. All right, next song is called Baby Don't Run Away. This is another, it's a mid-tempo song. It's a love song, and you got, just nice. Again, you're getting these backing vocals again, which you get throughout most of this album that, are kind of surprising initially, but as a whole, it blends it and keeps it, kind of make it feel like as one. And that's what I like about this album. He's venturing out. He's doing some different things. He's just talking, you brought me everything I've wanted, lady don't go, baby don't run away. The next song is called Dream Away, and this was from the film Time Bandits. Now, I'm not sure if this is a different recording from the film, but there are some different players in some cases on here. But it's a nice song. I like it. It's an extremely catchy number. And it just was done very well. It's a pop song. It worked very well with the movie. Last song is called Circles, and this was that Beatle number I told you about, that unreleased Beatle song. So here, 14 years later, we get to hear it. I love it. I really do enjoy it. It's dark, though. It is dark. You've got Billy Preston on there on organ and piano. In fact, you've got George playing bass again, and he's doing the synthesizer, and he's got some guitar on there. And then you have Mike Moran's synthesizer. You've got a guest appearance from John Lord from the group Deep Purple doing synthesizer. It turns out John was a neighbor of George's, so they had a friendship. Let me read some lyrics on this. Friends come and friends go as I go round and round in circles. Love someone, change your mind. Decide he was a swine as you go round and round in circles. He who knows does not speak, he who speaks does not know, and I go round in circles. So, you know, that's kind of just, I guess it's just the cycle of life, you know, circles. Here we go, life, death, that kind of thing, reincarnation, I would imagine is what he's saying. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I would give this a 7. I think it's that good of an album. Some different people that played on here is Henry Spinetti on drums. You also had Jim Keltner on drums, who was a favorite of George. You have Dave Maddox doing drums on Dream Away. You have Mike Moran doing a lot of the keyboards and the synthesizer. You have Ray Cooper not only helping produce but doing percussion. You have Billy Preston on several songs, which is really nice. So those are some of the people on here. You have Willie Weeks doing bass. You know, so he's found people that, you know, he felt comfortable working with and did just a phenomenal album. So I want to thank you very much for watching this video. You take care and you have a nice day. All right, bye.